Hi there, my name is Aaron Hughes and I'm the real estate investing copywriter. And in this video, I want to share with you the strategy behind something that you have probably seen on websites, direct mail, reports, all kinds of different types of marketing. And you might have thought it was just there because it looked nice, but there really is a reason behind it. So the strategy that I'm talking about today is headlines that are buried in your copy, or you might call them subheadlines is what I refer to them. At the top of your page, you get your main headline, and then you got, text throughout the page, and then here and there throughout the page are subheadlines. And people who know the strategy behind this will often put these subheadlines in. If you don't know the strategy, if you're not aware of the real reason why those are there, then you may not put them in, but they should be there. So let me explain why they're there and why you need to put them in your real estate investor marketing. So when someone lands on your page, or they open your direct mail, or they read a report that you might have given them, they are going to look at the content, but not everyone is going to read every word. Some people will read every single word, but not everyone does. On the one end of the spectrum, you've got people who will read every single word you write. On the other end of the spectrum, you'll have someone who just looks at this big wall of text and think, well, that's a lot of text. They might read the first paragraph and the last one, and that was it. In the middle is where most people are. And what they do is they read the first little bit, and then they scan the headlines, the subheadlines throughout the page, and then they read the last little bit. Now, if there's a subheadline that catches their attention, they'll dip into the paragraph text underneath it. Or if they get to the end of the page and they still have a question, they might scroll back up to the subheadline that was most relevant to their question and then read that section again. So the subheadlines have an important role to play because they break up your page so it doesn't look like a big wall of text. It looks like consumable bites. They move the eye all the way down the page, keeping people moving from one headline section to the next. Not everyone's going to read the paragraph copy, but they will probably at least scan the headlines. And so you can kind of build up your sales pitch or your marketing pitch through these headlines. And then they're going to use it as sort of a framework to understand what your offer is. And then when they get to the very bottom, if they aren't ready yet to pull the trigger, to take action, then they may, if they have questions, they may scan up farther in the page to one of the subheadlines that seems like it might answer their question. So the subheadlines are there for a lot of purposes in order to help people who may not want to read every word of your marketing piece. So it's important that you put in your headlines, these subheadlines, all the way through your website, or your direct mail, or your report, or any type of content. They're great in blogs too, and in emails. While I'm thinking about it, let's talk about those as well. Put them in there too. Any type of content that might be a little bit longer, and especially content that has a call to action. So just break it up. Every paragraph or two, put in some headlines. Now, here's how I like to write. When I'm writing like a landing page or a direct response, or any type of copy that has a call to action at the end, I actually prefer to outline the content, say, okay, I want to cover these 10 points, and then write a headline for each of those points, and those become my subheadlines. And then I'll write body text underneath. That way, I am creating the content all the way through just from the headlines and then supporting it with the body copy. And if people read the body copy, that's great. But if they never do, they actually get my full argument from top to bottom just by reading the headlines. So that's your assignment, is to look at your marketing and your websites and your direct response mail and your reports and your blogs and your emails and anything else that you might be sending out to people, especially content that's a little bit longer or has a call to action. Take a look at it and see how much text there is and consider whether you might be better served by breaking it up into smaller sections by creating subheadlines throughout. All right, my name's Aaron Hughes. I'm the real estate investing copywriter. And if you want more tips and strategies and tools to help you do more deals, head over to realestateinvestingcopywriter.com.